I woke up to some good news. I woke up to the breaking and viral news that President Joe Biden has decided to pardon his son, Hunter Biden. And I personally don't care what a MAGA nut has got to say about it. Why don't I care what a MAGA nut has got to say about it? Because I'm not dealing with their foolishness nor their hypocrisy. They voted into office a convicted felon, a man that was convicted on 34 counts. That man that they voted into office that was convicted on 34 felony counts, he was also found liable for grape. Not only was he convicted on 34 counts and found liable for grape, now that he's been voted into the presidency, he has put into his cabinet several other individuals that have been found to be sexual assaulters and, criminals and against democracy. So yeah, I personally don't care what a MAGA nut has to say about Joe Biden pardoning his son. So if a MAGA nut wants to bitch and moan and complain about Joe Biden pardoning his son, they can bitch and moan and complain to each other. I'm not trying to hear it. Joe Biden did put out a statement regarding the pardon. Let's read it, shall we? The statement reads, "Today, I signed a pardon for my son, Hunter. From the day I took office, I said I would not interfere with the Justice Department's decision-making, and I kept my word even as I have watched my son being selectively and unfairly prosecuted, without aggravating factors like use in crime, multiple purchases, or buying a weapon as a straw purchaser. People are almost never brought to trial on felony charges solely for how they filled out a gun form. Those who were late paying their taxes because of serious addictions but paid them back subsequently with interest and penalties are typically given non-criminal resolutions. It is clear that Hunter was treated differently, and he was. The charges in his case came about only after several of my political opponents in Congress instigated them to attack me and oppose my election. Then a carefully negotiated plea deal agreed to by the Department of Justice unraveled in the courtroom, with a number of my political opponents in Congress taking credit for bringing political pressure on the process. Had the plea deal held, it would have been a fair, reasonable resolution for Hunter's cases. No reasonable person who looks at the facts of Hunter's cases can reach any other conclusion that Hunter was singled out only because he is my son, and that is wrong. There has been an effort to break Hunter, who has been 5.5 years sober, even in the face of unrelenting attacks and selective prosecution. In trying to break Hunter, they've tried to break me, and there's no reason to believe it will stop here. Enough is enough. For my entire career, I have followed a simple principle. Just tell the American people the truth. They'll be fair-minded. Here's the truth. I believe in the justice system, but as I have wrestled with this, I also believe raw politics has infected this process, and it led to a miscarriage of justice. And once I made this decision this weekend, there was no sense in delaying it further. I hope Americans will understand why a father and a president will come to this decision." Well, I myself certainly understand why President Joe Biden came to that decision. And I approve. Joe sees the writing on the wall. How Donald Trump is staffing his cabinet, he's staffing his cabinet to go after his political opponents. And you can best believe that they will continue to try to get at Joe Biden and the Democrats by continuously attacking Hunter Biden. So you damn right. I don't care what a MAGA nut has to say about President Joe Biden pardoning his son. But you know, Charlie Brown's Great Orange Pumpkin came out with a statement. Does the pardon given by Joe to Hunter include the J6 hostages who have now been imprisoned for years? Such an abuse and miscarriage of justice. If you ask me, him being able to run for president was a miscarriage of justice. Him winning the presidency was a miscarriage of justice. Him being able to campaign for the presidency was a miscarriage of justice. Him currently being free is a miscarriage of justice. And oh, I know somebody is going to ask me. The lipstick is from Fenty Beauty. The color is the MVP. And my lip liner is from Juvia's Place. The color is Scorpio. This smells so good. Yep, I don't give a flying fuck what a MAGA nut has to say about President Joe Biden pardoning his son. However, I came across former Attorney General Eric Holder, and I was interested in what he had to say. Here's what Eric Holder had to say. Hunter, here's the reality. No U.S. attorney would have charged this case given the underlying facts. After a 5-year investigation, the facts as discovered only made that clear. Had his name been Joe Smith, the resolution would have been fundamentally and more fairly a declination. Pardon warranted. Ask yourself a vastly more important question. Do you really think Kash Patel is qualified to lead the world's preeminent law enforcement investigative organization? Obvious answer, hell no. I agree with former Attorney General Eric Holder, and I don't give a fuck what a MAGA nut has to say about President Joe Biden pardoning his son.